Possibly. I have no clue what we're doing.
Really?
Hi everybody, welcome to Off Our Needles. I'm Tracie.
I'm Jodi.
And we are the Grocery Girls.
We are.
We have some fun things to talk about today.
We do. We're going to talk about washing symbols that come on your yarn labels.
Laundry, fun, right?
Something I try and avoid.
But there really is a right way and a wrong way to do it, and these guidelines are really, really important.
Yeah, so in episode 3, we talked about hand washing your knitting if you wear them a lot.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. The amazing thing about wool is it's kind of like antibacterial and you don't have to wash it a lot, which is why I love knitting with wool.
I know.
A lot. But at some point, there's a level of, oh my gosh, this thing's got to get washed. How do we do it?
Yeah. Let's look at the symbols.
Okay, have you ever seen any of these?
No. So let me just preface this by saying, when I buy clothes,
yes,
if it needs ironing after coming out of the dryer, I will not buy it.
Yes.
I will avoid extra work at all costs. Is this going to be a lot to take care of our knitting?
No, and I'm going to tell you all about it. It's really not that bad, but I know you're the kind of person that throws away the instruction manual at IKEA. Jodi just wants to wing it. She likes to wing it with her knits. But the first step is to know what these little pictures on your yarn label mean. Okay, let's go row by row. What do you think the top one's all about?
Okay, so I do know some. So I know this is iron.
Yes,
and
but there's a bit more going on here. So it just means, you know, as the dots increase, that is the temperature increase on your iron. 1 dot, low iron, low, medium, high, and this one is what you just don't even
Well, I wouldn't need to know what the top row is because I don't do it.
Right.
Done.
Let's cross that one off the list. We won't be ironing our knitting.
All right.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is really important, actually.
How important?
Pretty darn important. It's all about the temperature of your water you're going to use to wash your garment. This could be make or break.
To me, this just looks like a glass of water.
Yes, it's actually meant to be the washing machine or your sink, whether you're hand washing or machine washing. It's telling you how hot you can have your water. Because let me tell you, you do not want to put natural wool in super hot water. You're going to end up with, you know, your sweater's going to be like a Barbie sweater when you come out. I did that to a cowl once and it turned into a pot holder. So that is all about the temperature for your water. So there are some things you can't actually even get wet. And that's what this symbol means right here.
Don't wash it all. I'm going to be looking for that symbol.
So the circles are all about dry cleaning, which means you don't have to wash anything at all. The letters in there are about which chemicals the cleaners can use safely on your fiber.
Okay, that I really didn't know about. So let's talk about the dryer. Because that's like, that could make or break your knitting.
Well, okay, let's talk about the dryer. You put everything in the washer and the dryer.
And sometimes it comes out shrunk.
But
sometimes it
you know, typically you're using superwash yarn and it works out okay. But typically, things can go sideways if you don't really know what the symbols mean. So when you're looking at the dryer symbols, those dots are telling you temperatures. The one with 1 dot is lower temperatures, you know, etc. And then the one, of course, with the big X through it means do not put it in the dryer, ever.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Okay, should you ever wring out a hand knit?
No, I don't think so.
When I block, I wring out of it.
Okay, so no. When you've soaked a knitted item, you want to press your water out. You don't want to wring it like a towel. Or it's all about the pressing of the moisture out, and then you'll, you know, roll it up in a towel and press it again, but you don't wring it. Wringing's not good, but you do need to get that excess moisture out, so press it out.
So these symbols for wringing and don't wring is not candy and no candy.
It should always be candy.
Okay, and then there's a few lay flat or hang dry, which are really good to know for your items.
It is, and I'm not sure how often you would see something to hang a knit dry because the weight of it can really stretch it down, but it's really good to know the symbol, right? So there is that one there with the little U shape, and that's for hang to dry. But lots of them, I think you'll see more lay flat to dry.
So all of these are super, super important to knitters to know. These labels are going to be found right on their yarn.
As long as you can kind of even remember what you knit your garment out of, like what fiber it is, you can kind of even look that up. So when you purchase your yarn, they actually give you the tips right on the label. And let's see what that looks like. Let's start with this Highland Superwash Sock Twist. It is super wash, which tells us we can actually put it in the washing machine if we want. And when we look at the symbols, it says 30 degrees, which is wash on low. So we can do that, but it's also telling us that we can hand wash it. I think that's my preference. I always do like to hand wash, but it's awesome to know that we can just toss it in on a low temperature load as well. Yeah. And it says
no candy.
No candy while you're washing this one. No wringing, right. And then lay flat to dry. But even if you don't know what the symbols say, it's actually written on these too. So this label is super easy to follow as far as how to care for whatever you've knit with this yarn.
So this is a non-superwash DK wool.
Okay.
So this is going to be different from what you talked about superwash. There's going to be some different instructions, right?
Yeah.
So this one, you're always going to want to hand wash your non-superwash wool. You never stray from that. You're never going to want to wring it out, right? Because you don't want to change the shape of that yarn.
It's true.
Oh man.
And always lay flat to dry.
Yeah.
And no iron. One more.
So this one is the easiest probably of all, right? If you knit something in acrylic, but our symbols are gonna tell us that. It says machine wash and dry gentle. It actually has, this triangle is the bleach, and it's telling you no bleach. And of course, no iron, because you know the heat there is going to be
melted.
Not good for your garment. But again, it also says right in plain English above the symbol. So that's really easy. I knit my shawl 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I haven't washed it yet. Okay. But today's the day. And I don't have that yarn label anymore, or I don't have that yarn. So how do I know how to wash that?
Well, I would actually wash it and dry it. And if it shrinks,
and cross your fingers.
It was non-superwash, but that's actually not how I would do it.
Not good.
I would just always recommend a cool temperature water, hand wash it, and lay it flat to dry.
You're right, that is the safest way to do it.
It is, because even if it's something you knew you could have washed on gentle, dried on low, you're gonna come across that time where it's something that if you do that, it's going to change your knitting.
It's true. So you've washed it in the sink and it's sopping wet, you've pressed out the water, and now, you know, comes the fun part. You roll it up in a towel and you make your knitting burrito, and then you stomp on it to press out most of the liquid, and then you're gonna lay it flat to dry and just leave it there. And sometimes that just means a big area of carpet or a towel. Sometimes you're gonna have blocking mats, which are helpful for lace things, but just leave it and dry. And I find most things dry in a day to two, so it's not so bad.
The chart with the symbols that we talked about and any explanation about it can be found at craftsy.com.
Yes.
And we've linked it below in the description box.
Yeah, there's a really cool cheat sheet right down there, you guys, so you can access that anytime and have it. I put it in your laundry room.
That's right.
It's super handy.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button.
And we will see you next time on Off Our Needles. Happy knitting!
Bye.